when we talk about things like how do you future-proof an organization, right? That starts with the leadership, right? And future-proofing now is mandatory. It is not anymore a world where you can just take your time and just wait and be reactive to your competitors, right? Look, there's three things that I think leaders need to do. And the first one might seem obvious to us, right, as technologists, but leaders have to have an ability to make better technology decisions. They have to understand the concept of digital plumbing. They've got to understand what mobile, what social, what BI, what BPM, what these things really do to the digital plumbing of an organization. And they can't just outsource all these decisions necessarily, to the geeks of the world. I'm talking about, I don't care what kind of leader you are, I don't care how old you are or where you came from, you've got to understand how to make good technology decisions. I'll tell you the other thing you've got to understand is, you have to understand how to predict the future accurately. Okay, not just be well, I'm visionary. Okay, it's being visionary accurately. You have a very clear picture of what's going to happen in the future, and you are investing money today to get there. We've got to have leaders that do that. We've got to have leaders that understand that you've got to change the organizational culture as society changes, as technology has interesting impacts. You have to build a culture that accepts new technology. You have to build a culture that understands there are 4 different generations that view technology very differently. And so what I'm looking for are high beam leaders. Okay? And again, the very definition of leadership is that you understand where you want people to go. You're painting a very clear picture that we're going there, and it's an accurate picture. That's leadership, as opposed to management, which is you're just going along, okay? Not proactively. So we're looking for high beam leaders. Now, let's look at what's tough about that, okay, when we say high beam leadership. So I think technology is all about connection, and I think we're going through eras and layers of connection. And so the first one we saw, Web 1.0, was connected organizations. This was, we built websites, and we connected organizations to their constituents, right? It was a connected organization world. Today, at Web 2.0, it's about connected people, and we're going to talk a bit more about that, right? But it's all about connecting people, right? The next step is, as we heard earlier today, when you talk about 50 billion devices connected, you're talking about a pervasive computing world. In a pervasive computing world where every device is connected, I now can take my iPhone and set the temperature on my pool. Okay? I can take my iPhone and it'll alert me that it's rained today, so I probably don't need to turn my sprinkler system on. I can take my Android phone and it'll show me that my wife's car pulled into the garage and that it needs the oil changed. Okay, that's a connected devices world. The next step, where the seeds, of course, are already planted, is a connected intelligence world. So when you play out BI, right, ultimately, you get to what I call augmented intelligence. So you play out years of BI development with years of rules being built into a software layer. It's not artificial intelligence, it's augmented intelligence, right? It augments the human's ability to manage. When we have an augmented intelligence world, you're going to be able to connect these augmented intelligences and do fascinating things between organizations. Okay? So it's a connected world, but that's sometimes hard for leaders to get their hands around. Here's an example. I'll give you 3 things around social technologies, right, that most leaders don't really think about. Today, it seems like when I walk into leaders and they're talking about social, all they can get their hands around is, dude, should I have a Facebook fan page? Well, I don't know. You're a funeral home. Do you need a Facebook fan page? Right? Look, let me go through social technologies, right? There are 3 areas of social technologies that are important to understand. There's social relevancy. Social relevancy is your online reputation. Right? There's social media, which is how do we use media? Video, documents, PowerPoint presentations to get a message out. And there's social networking. Right? So there's 3 discrete areas underneath the social technology umbrella. Half the leaders I deal with don't even understand that. Much less the concept that we have all these other interesting things cropping up. Right? Social CRM, social recruiting. And then if you look at B2C, we have a new field of art, right? Socially directed buying. You have advertising, marketing, now we have socially directed buying. If you're B2B, we have a new term of art, socially facilitated selling. Right? Socially facilitated selling is a new layer that needs to be added to any sales force. All right? So think of it this way. I was lucky enough when I was 21 years old to go to some IBM sales schools. And back in that day, right, kind of Zig Ziglar, Dale Carnegie day, it was relationship selling. Then we moved to a new era, which was solution-oriented selling. Make them sick, make them well, or find the pain, find the cure. Today we're in kind of a CRM-based selling world, right? We got our 5 steps or our 7 steps to close a sale. Now, every layer doesn't replace the layer before. But the latest layer that people have to put in place now is socially facilitated selling. How do we integrate social tools at the organization level, sales management level, salesperson level, right, to be able to create socially facilitated selling, right, which is all about CRM, new business analytics that bridge in social information, new sets of tools, new training for sales forces, okay? How do we harness the crowd to improve the speed in our ability to innovate? How do we do it if it's collaboratively internally, or how do we invite external people to help us do crowd-accelerated innovation? Now, I remember when I first heard this concept, that a video that I saw one time. And I love music and I'm a musician and play guitar and some other things. But when I saw this video, I instantly understood how the internet helps with crowd-accelerated innovation, right? Because once I saw this, I could never look at guitar playing the same way again. And this is what crowd-accelerated innovation can do. In an instant, you can see what people are doing anywhere else in the world, and we've never had this kind of capability until Web 2.0. We have never seen this pace of new technology tools come to us. It is a huge palette that we can be artistic and creative and innovative with, but as technologists, I still think we're doing half of what we could do. Either you're teaching your competitors or your competitors are teaching you. It's nothing in between. And today, with all the technology we have the perfect palette to be able to teach our competitors everything, and that's where we want to be. Please go there. Thank you.